So, could Rattan Marksmen perhaps be the most toxic unit at tier 3? At least when we've got the tier 3 lock-in effect, even if they are kind of sometimes fun to play. Now, these guys used to really just be a comedy unit. I used to have quite good fun playing with these, but they weren't really ever very effective. But kind of combination with Doctrines, with some buffs and changes they've had as well and the level cap increase, they've suddenly become a really dominant ranged unit at tier 3, or a little close ranged unit. And kind of thought we'd dive into a few battles with them, because they are quite a lot of fun. Now, they're a pretty unique unit in a few ways. They obviously shoot really quickly. Essentially, they have 5 or 6 bolts. There's almost like a magazine, and they can fire those really quickly, and then they've got to reload for a slightly longer period. Traditionally, these were always limited by the fact they really had really low piercing armor penetration damage, which meant that they couldn't really do very much damage against sort of even lightly armored tier 3 units. But that's kind of changed more recently. I'm up to manage to get them up to 1784 piercing AP. And when you base that with the 1200 piercing damage, it's actually a reasonably decent amount of damage. You can actually have them with fire or poison. I think most people tend to run them with poison. It is kind of quite effective. And with the level cap increase, we've also got the fact that they get extra poison damage now on these bolts as well, which makes them really nice hero killers. There is 28 stack in a unit, but the real downside of this unit is their hit points. They have only 1,500 hit points, which means they are basically a one-hit kill for any hero. A musket bomb, bowman's explosive arrow, anything like that will wipe this unit out really quickly. Even though they actually have surprisingly quite high piercing defense, the health is so low it is completely irrelevant. It really doesn't play into it at all. Very quickly, in terms of doctrines, a few interesting things on here, but mostly with an emphasis on getting that piercing armor penetration up. That crossbow doctrine giving 200. I've got a double shot on them, which actually gives them the ability to fire one more arrow without having to reload. We've got that poison doctrine increasing all armor penetration by 140 points, and poison damage, and the stack as well, which is really nice. Rate of fire, and a little bit of extra ammo, and of course, a little bit more piercing. Obviously, it would be nice to get this one up to a tier 5 and make them even better. But anyway, let's hop into some battles with them. We can kind of see what they're all about and why I find them quite fun to play, even though I probably often also hate playing against them. So, first off, we kick things up on everyone's least favourite map, Orolia. Now, you just got to keep a bit of an eye on the unit as you traverse from supply point to fight, but I think one of the biggest mistakes people make with this unit is to try and keep it alive. It's going to die. Everyone hates this unit, everyone suicides to try and get to it. Do not try and keep it alive, accept that it's going to die, and be aggressive with it, and you pick up so many hero kills. So, this guy's coming in, let him come in, go for the knockdown, we lost a couple of units, it cost him his life. And we pick up another one. So, you can see you can get 3 hero kills just like that. And they can just keep firing in as people are coming down the steps, and there we go, another hero kill. You can let people come at them, don't just try and pull them back all the time. You're not, because they're so fragile, and because they sort of become so hated, people naturally try and suicide towards them. As so. We get the lockdown, and he's dead. It just draws them. Use them as bait, and use your hero to try and control the fight. Yes, sometimes enemy heroes will get in them nice and easily, and you'll get a maul that charges all the way through them. Oh well, that's just kind of how it goes. The worst thing you can do is try and keep them at the back of the map the whole time and do nothing to push them on. We do eventually end up getting flanked by people around the side, and you can see them starting to push in, although by the time they actually get engaged to the enemy units, they don't actually really manage to get onto the unit, and even at this sort of level of close range, they managed to pepper the shields quite effectively. And you can see now we've gone from like 150 to 200 unit kills, as well as multiple hero kills of the unit already. And even when you've only got like a third of the unit left like this, because the poison damage stacks quite effectively, they can still kill heroes quite nicely, though they can be a bit of a brutal unit. But certainly helped us get there to capturing the point on this one. Next up, Shield of the Capital, and kind of a similar situation, having a bit of a hard time pushing the final point on this one, and we actually started to get him pushed out of the point. So rather than just retreating the unit back over to the supply point, use them aggressively, let's hold them up. First hero comes in, and the first hero is dead. And you kind of get the idea. Now I'm just trying to keep things away from the unit, I'm just trying to use my hero as a block. I dismount, but actually I decided I was better off on my horse. I'm not worried about 1 or 2 little units to get through. I'm just trying to keep the bulk of stuff away. Just trying to draw it away because we're picking up unit kills and we're getting the poison stacks on enemy heroes. So we get a longsword. We managed to lock down the longsword and the poleaxe together, kill the longsword. And we can get the unit damages in, but there's enough poison stacks now on that poleaxe that he's done for. And there we go, he's dead. We've lost a chunk of the unit, but we're picking up more damage. The short bow, again, the poison stacks, gets us the kill. And you can see how, you know, we've now just killed... Oh, and another one. What's that, 4? 5? I'm not even sure. That must be 5. And you can see how we've gone from being pushed out of the enemy base point to now we've killed so many of the enemy heroes that even if they've got units left alive, they can't really effectively counter push. Yes, it's cost us the unit. But if we just ran this unit back to the supply point, more than likely it would have got caught anyway. And to be honest, realistically, what have you achieved? Better most of the time to hold your ground, be aggressive, and try and utilise them in that way. I ended up putting them a little bit, having said just be aggressive, round the corner because of those arrows that was coming in. But as we start to push on and the arrow fire, oops, he got hit by a flying reaper, starts to stun, we bring the unit back up. And even though there's only a few of them, we can still put them to work in this fight. There's no point trying to keep these guys particularly alive, so we just get them in and they still pick up a couple of extra unit kills, because why not, as we try and make this final push on base point, even though it does kind of look a little bit bleak, and eventually we are going to get overrun here and pushed back. But we gave it a really good go to try and push on base. Oh, that poleaxe managed to get away, damn him. It actually didn't though. And you can see the last of the units sort of getting killed off. And finally, we end up on a little bit of border fort, really using the unit in largely the same way. The main thing I find you really have to watch out for with this unit, muskets, ranged units that can sort of counter you. Even this cav doesn't really manage to make it to the unit. The damage is so great from the poison, it mostly just shoots them down before they get there. Yeah, the main thing you have to watch out for is ranged heroes. Units like this Maul, yeah. It's just not a massive problem, to be honest, and that's probably why this unit is just so ridiculously toxic. It's fun to play, I do have a laugh playing this unit, but equally, when you come up against them as a hero, you manage to sneak round the lines, get in on your horse, and then your horse is shot from under you, you pick up so many poison stacks that you're dead before you can even do anything, and even when you come at them with a full stack of mace sergeants, you know, just with a couple of heroes, it's enough that you can't really get there. That's why this unit kind of does sometimes feel a little bit toxic to play against, at least at the tier 3 lock. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and of course subscribe to the channel for lots more Conqueror's Blade content. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you all on the next one.